metal flow and allow gas to escape. All the wax will eventually become negative space later in the process, which will ultimately be replaced by bronze. The ceramic shell process begins by dipping the sprued wax into vats of liquid slurry, followed immediately by a bath of sand. This process builds a thin wall of silica around the wax. This is repeated until a shell approximately 1/2 inch in thickness forms around the wax. When dry, the shells are now inverted and placed into an autoclave to be dewaxed, eliminating the positive space taken up by the wax, and thus creating a cavity or negative space for the bronze to occupy. A large crucible fired by a furnace is filled with bronze ingots and melted. The metal begins to melt at approximately 1700 degrees. The ceramic shells at this time are also heated in a kiln to approximately 1100 degrees to aid the flow of the bronze. When all temperatures are reached, the shells are removed from the kiln and the molten bronze is poured into the shells. When cool enough to handle, hammers and chisels are used to knock the shell off of the solidified metal. Gates and sprues are also cut off. Lastly, the piece is sandblasted to remove the fine remaining shell from the bronze. The bronze must now have all imperfections repaired and any parts welded back on that were cut off during the spruing process, once again making an exact reproduction of the artist's original sculpture. Pneumatic tools are used to recreate these subtle surfaces. If internal support is needed, it is added now. The final step in this process is applying the patina to the bronze. This process enhances the surface by creating color through the application of various chemicals, which are applied at a high heat with the use of a torch gun. When the desired effect is achieved, a thin coat of clear wax is applied to the surface to enhance and preserve the patina. As you can see, the lost wax casting process is lengthy and labor-intensive, requiring the collaboration and expertise of many. Knowledge of this process gives us a deeper respect for bronze sculpture.
All right, so just a little primer on lost wax. Of course, no power tools or any of the plaster casting or anything like that. But right, clay being used and wax to create these forms which molten copper would have been poured into. So right, you need quite a bit of technical proficiency to get copper at the temperature needed, and then also right to get this whole process underway. So we see this wonderful piece which highlights this practice which is taking place around this time. All right, so if that's all, if there aren't any questions, I'll be around getting a cup of coffee if you guys want to talk about the midterm. Monday too, I have my office hours, and have a great weekend.